Well, if we hit 90 here tomorrow, or even if we hit it today or tomorrow, basically we're getting towards the end of where you'd see the latest 90 for La Crosse. It goes to October 6th. We can still see a lot of 80s, still potentially all the way through November, so that's not all the question. If Eau Claire gets 90 at this point in time, it's going to be a record because that last one was on September 25th. They could still get 80. In fact, 80 was all the way towards almost Halloween at 1 year. So we're not done with the quite almost warm conditions, but the 90s pretty much are done with once we get past this weekend for the time being. We're just under a ridge, too, as a storm system, a very complex, very large system impacts the west coast. They're going to actually get mountain snow. They got rain, much cooler conditions. We're still under this ridge. Eventually, that system, a piece of it will be coming through as we get towards the late half of the weekend, Sunday night into Monday, and we'll get back to normal conditions. But overall, it's not too really out of the question. We're going to see temperatures anywhere chilly for this time of year. But overnight, the temperatures are really going to be mild. These are actually not far from where we should be for actual daytime highs. So a very warm start. The wind's going to start picking up too as we go throughout Saturday. That'll be the bigger difference between today and tomorrow is the winds. Temperatures may be a degree or two difference depending on location, but all in all, not much of a thing. Mid to upper 80s and potentially some areas could get back into the 90s, but the wind will be the bigger factor. We look at the records tomorrow. Definitely going to probably see some records at least tie because the record highs come back down a little at both locations. So that is in play for both as we'll see it. As we go towards Sunday, once again, it's going to be a warm conditions going into Sunday, more 60s, but the wind will still remain in Sunday going into Monday, and then, Saturday night going into Sunday morning, and then Sunday still warm, but cloud cover will increase. The winds also as the front gets closer. So some areas further east to go may get into the mid 80s. I think everyone else is probably going to be low 80s, but still warm. Once again, we should be in the mid upper 60s time of year. The winds tomorrow, you could see gusts. Basically in northeast Iowa, southeast Minnesota could approach 35 at times. Maybe some of the ridge lines too across the rest of the area could see that. They're not going to die off that much at night. We still could see some gusts in the 20s to near 30 at times, and even Sunday morning still going to be a little breezy. And then they're going to pick up quite a bit. There could be some areas as we go towards the afternoon as that front approaches that could get closer to 35 to 40. Time we get to the evening hour, we start seeing the winds die down and they're going to start turning as the front comes through. Precipitation, a lot of this initially probably won't reach the ground because it's so dry ahead of the front. I think it's going to be behind the front. You'll see more. So clouds will increase. I think the shower chance really increases as we get towards 5 to 6. And then further into the night and further south you go, that's where I think you're better shot. You're going to see some showers, maybe a thunderstorm. That chance is still quite low, but showers, as you see it, they'll swing through as we get towards the morning commute on Monday. I think most of that activity is going to be gone, or at least further south. We'll just dealing with north winds, some cloud cover on all the precipitation for most of the Monday will be done, and then we'll see more seasonal conditions. You see those temperatures mid to upper 60s, not bad actually, still a degree or two above for most areas, but definitely we're not seeing those 80s anymore anytime soon. And that's really the story for the rest of the week. It's more typical early October, end of September conditions, although we do return back to the 70s towards the end of the week and next weekend under really pretty much looks like dry conditions. So it's going to be a drop, but nothing's really out of the ordinary for early October. And then we'll kind of get mild conditions towards the end of next week too. So definitely it's going to be a warm, dry, windy weekend.
What a start to October, right? This is,
Yes,
this is different, right?
Is.
All right. Thanks, Greg.